And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions here on the Consumer Quarterback Show here in Tampa Bay, your local economy of choice, your local experts here in Tampa Bay real estate. Today we have a special show lined up for you. We've got Jessica Fox, who is a team leader with the Keller Williams office based here in Clearwater, Palm Harbor. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to dive deep into a lot about this book here. This is called Market Shifts. Gary Keller is a number one top-selling author, along with Jay Papasan here in with the Keller Williams organization. So we're going to dive deep into what's happening right now, what happens during a shift, and some of the advantages that Keller Williams has when it comes to helping consumers. That's what it's all about here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're helping you understand more about your buying decisions, and we've got 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice here on the show. So we want to help you win in any marketplace, but it's up to you to reach out. 813-670-7372. That is our consumer advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. And also bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. So we're going to dive deep into a lot of things happening in the real estate market, a lot of the trends that we've seen happening, some of the changes happening, and we're going to get some insight from billionaire Gary Keller as well, as Jessica's worked hand in hand with Gary on a close working relationship here over the last few years. So we want to give a shout out to Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. Big shout out to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan, Replenish IV Solutions. A great time for you right now to get maybe a Myers cocktail or one of their different types of fatigue fighters, detoxification, anti-aging, amino acids, and extras through their vitamin infusion drips. Reach out to Replenish IV Solutions. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. They are making house calls right now, so they will deliver this product directly to your home or office. Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife and I own and operate a top team here in the area. We got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here in Tampa Bay. We've got a commercial asset at 19206 US Highway 19 in Clearwater. Now, this is a property that is a large corner lot. It's an amazing opportunity to own a corner lot in Clearwater, Florida, one of the hottest cities in the state of Florida. And this property is actually being occupied right now by a national tenant. There's a tenant that is a car dealership. Check out 19206 US Highway 19 North in Clearwater. Great buying opportunity, investment opportunity for savvy investors. Also, check out our property at 260 Lyndhurst Street in Dunedin. This is a gorgeous residential home. It has an income-producing asset as well with the mother-in-law suite above the garage. There's a pool courtyard as well. And if you check out the photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks, the real estate photography, the drone shot there, you've got a beautiful view of the intercoastal waterways, and there is a walking distance. You're within walking distance right across the street from the Fenway Hotel and all that downtown Dunedin has to offer. Check out 260 Lyndhurst Street in Dunedin, Florida, and you can check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, let's jump right into it. We got Jesica Fox Wimmer here. She's a team leader with the number one office for the Tri-County area here in Tampa Bay. Why don't we start with that graphic, Jessica, and just kind of give context to our viewers, our listeners out there, Rob. So if you would, let's throw up this, and I want Jessica to explain that.
So this is a snapshot of the top real estate offices for Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough County. Lots of great companies out there, and you'll note that the #1 real estate office in the Tri-County area is the Keller Williams Clearwater office, and we've got a really healthy trend. We're up over 10%. So this was end of year, and you'll see that this is showing the top 10 offices, and what I'm real proud of is that 8 of the top 10 are Keller Williams offices. So we definitely have some great agents.
Yeah, that's super awesome. And when you look at the ability now, so obviously we're talking a lot to other real estate agents, mortgage professionals, title folks, insurance folks, people in the know in the real estate industry, and of course, our homeowners out there, our commercial property owners. We would love to talk to you, and we want to educate you a little bit about the marketplace and what's happening right now. So Jessica, from your kind of a helicopter view, you're seeing the market as we do as well. If you look at what's the impact, let's start with COVID-19. How can we not, right? We got to talk about this. What are you seeing as far as the reaction in the marketplace?
Well, here's the interesting element. This year we started with such a robust market with such low inventory and such low rates.
Right.
We were off to a repeat year for 2020. We didn't see rates changing much, and with it being an election year, we saw it being kind of a repeat year. And who ever thought we'd have a global pandemic?
Right.
So overnight, the market changed. The world changed.
Yeah.
And so we expected a market shift in probably 2021 post-election, with rates changing and the market generally changing just because it was due.
Right.
And yet overnight, and I can show you some of the data on it, the market changed, or what we call as shifted, into a neutral market, meaning that we're not quite the seller's market we were.
Right.
And you and I know that as realtors, that for the last several years, most listings would sell.
Right. Yeah, it's a race to get the listings. If you control the inventory, you get a lot of the buyer calls. It's just a great way to build your real estate business, and that was my focus. Has always been my focus, is getting listings, being the rainmaker, going out and making deals happen, talking to sellers, and talking to your sphere of influence, and trying to grow that sphere of influence, as we've done with the Real Estate Quarterback Show, aka the Consumer Quarterback Show, almost 7 years on air now. So the inventory's low. That's the thing. A lot of times people, they kind of overreact, and it's you find it with just the human the condition, right? It's like we sometimes we overreact when we're in the moment, and we're driven by fear in a lot of cases. Well,
there's no reason to have fear,
right?
And this is why. If we had a hurricane, and we're used to this. We're used to this in Florida, having hurricanes or the potential hurricane. So I feel like we're more equipped to handle this type of market shift because we've prepared before. Now, the difference is let's just say this was last October and we had a hurricane coming, and if we got hit by the hurricane, our inventory was gone.
Right.
Our buyers were gone. Talk about cold feet. If you're an investor from out of state, you probably are going to rethink potentially buying investment property. So when we have those types of impacts or those types of shifts, we feel it for quite some time. It takes time to recover.
Right.
The overnight pandemic that created a market crash, which is creating somewhat of a market shift, is not the same.
Okay.
And so once we get to a more normal lifestyle again, which I don't think it'll ever be the same as it was.
Right.
However, once we get back to that, we'll see that things will settle back in. People are continuing to buy and sell. It's just that the more serious buyer or seller is the buyer or seller pulling the trigger today. So we're still closing on property. We're still showing property. We're still listing property. We've gotten very creative in many ways of how we do that. And what we're shifting into is a skills-based market. And what I mean by that is agents like you, Brandon, that have been through market shifts, that know how to aggressively and market properties like you do on this great show. The agents that are equipped to do that are going to come out really well, and the agents that never really learned those skills to problem solve during transactions, to be creative with financing, whatever they need to do to get deals together and to close, are the agents that are probably not going to do as well. So we've focused a lot on training, and of course, we've been empowered with this Shift book. This was written during the last market turn, and it really helped most of us come out doing better than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you just joined us, we're talking with Jesica Fox-Wimmer here. She's a team leader at the #1 office in the Tri-County area. That's Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, right here in Tampa Bay with Keller Williams Realty. And when it comes to the real estate model, Gary Keller, let's start there. Billionaire real estate executive. He owns the largest real estate company in the world, privately held. And you have an opportunity, unlike many other people, to spend time and call, a billionaire your friend. What is Gary saying right now? What's kind of coming from Gary's?
So Gary, when he started real estate, rates were 18%. So as a young buck, he started in real estate when things were really pretty intense. So he's only known how to thrive in markets and learned that with every market there are challenges and then there are opportunities. And partly that's why he wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, which I know, Brandon, you can give a copy to any one of your listeners if I'm happy to share that, or the Shift book, because these are two great must-reads right now for anyone that wants to know how to pivot their business into this type of world. Yet Gary took the reins back as CEO of our company so he could lead us through this because he's the most equipped. And he's reminding us to stay calm, that when there is a market shift of any sort, it could be because of a pandemic, it could be because of a war, it could be because of a political situation, it could be for many reasons, that when a market shifts, it always is shifting. And when we feel it, there's opportunity and challenges we need to pivot to.
Right.
So we need to be educated. We may need to re-educate ourselves on certain things. We may need to develop new skills. And so he's very much a training-focused leader.
Yeah, remargin your business is one of the chapters, and always improving your skills, growing your skill base. How can you get that edge on the competitors? And we're going to talk a little bit more about the way that the market has shifted and what we're seeing right now when we come back with Jesica Fox-Wimmer here, Keller Williams Realty on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day is a good one. New York City landlord waives April rent for hundreds of tenants due to coronavirus. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it's Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because Webeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week of 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask me about
Yes.
to be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Backles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. I've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because You were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Former USF football player, longtime quarterback on our sports teams, but now host of the Consumer Quarterback Show and owner of a top real estate firm team here in Tampa Bay. And it's all about quarterbacking your transactions and helping you understand more about your buying decisions from a world that's really turned upside down. There's a lot of things happening right now, a lot of uncertainty out there. But what we do know is that the basics are still going to be there. Back to the basics, constantly improving, learning on how you can maintain an edge and grow an edge and be able to be a more successful business owner in these times. It's one of the things you want to focus on, and you do that through education. You do that through training, through support. And we've got Jessica Fox Wimmer here in studio with us as well, a team leader over at Keller Williams Realty here in Tampa Bay. So we're talking a lot about things happening in the marketplace, Jessica, and when you look at how 2019 and then 2020, you kind of started off, you had some of the real estate marketing firms, starts with a Z. I hate to say the word even, I don't like them that much, but they come in where they're going to compete with their own realtors now. You have so much uncertainty now that things have changed. Open Door, some of these other buyers. Kind of give us, again, I just love getting the insights from what you've seen from a standpoint of, both working with Gary Keller, billionaire owner of Keller Williams, and then Gary and Nikki here in the Palm Harbor area, #1 office in the area with 480 agents in the office. Kind of bring that all together for us and see what you're talking about in terms of where we are now and where you think we're going.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. In 2013 it started, 2016 we had this evolution of new models in our market because the market had been so good for so long. And whenever you have a market that's so good for so long, even well past its typical cycle,
right.
You have all these different types of companies come in. Companies that will promise to list your house for 1%, and some companies will even say that it's free to sell your home. And we call them the disruptors. And anytime you have any, I'm sure every industry has these type of disruptors, and yet 2019 we actually saw locally Zillow offers, Open Door, and OfferPad, which are iBuy models, instant offer models where as a seller you can get an instant offer to sell your home with a lot of convenience, certainty, and ease. You can get that offer and potentially consider selling that way versus more of a traditional way with someone like you, Brandon. And we saw that come into our market. A lot of it was smoke and mirror marketing and advertising, not really what the consumer was expecting to pay. So in most cases, they really didn't get that much market share. However, they were a new model that we hadn't seen before. So the response in 2019 with Keller Williams, because we're a very progressive company and we always want to give our agents the tools they need to survive and thrive and evolve for their consumer, is we offered Keller Offers, which is an iBuy platform. It's pretty much identical across the board, and yet if you were considering selling but really didn't want to have to go through the hassle of showing property or the uncertainty of how long it would take and how much the holding costs would be, or the certainty of it even selling, or the headache of a deal maybe falling apart, you could choose to pay a convenience fee to have that instant sale. Well, what we found is the disruptors that came in, they were financed by venture capitalists but never proven, meaning they never became profitable.
Right.
So you can imagine when the market crashed, how those venture capitalists responded.
Yeah.
There was less money to be giving an unprofitable business. And so today, if you look at Zillow offers, they're no longer buying homes. If you look at Open Door, they're no longer buying homes. OfferPad, all of them. And what's interesting is they poured into the marketing, just in terms of marketing alone, this new model, hundreds of millions of dollars of marketing. I mean, if you watch television, you saw an ad, if you billboards, benches everywhere.
Radio.
Right, and there's like all these little pretend companies that popped out of nowhere. Now, with the shift, those companies overnight went out of business. Now, what's interesting to me is they created a new model to sell your home, and yet the only one that stayed in business is Keller Offers. So our agents at this moment in time, for someone that might truly be in a position where they really don't want anyone in their home with COVID, maybe they're elderly, maybe they're just afraid, maybe they just prefer the convenience at this point. Or let's just say I have to sell, Brandon, and I'm worried about with this market shift that it's going to take too long. Or I need to be somewhere else before the likelihood of this property selling. This could be a good option for you, and I know you guys can offer it.
Yeah, Keller Offers, it's a great opportunity to have a fast cash deal, quick closing, lots of reasons why people might want to move. And we have a couple on the table right now. A gentleman wants to move to California, be closer to his family, help them through this whole process, owns a primary residence, cash, owns it free and clear, ready to make a cash offer or take a cash offer. So when you look at that and the advantages that Keller Williams has, it's the longevity, the fact that you're going to be there. Everyone knows in the business, in the real estate business, and even mortgage, title, finance, that Keller Williams has the best training, for years has the best training, the education, the support. And when you look at being at the #1 office in the entire area, it's great. It's a great opportunity. And then Lindsay and I have our team, which has interesting dynamics with her being a feng shui and interior design specialist. And then I'm a certified negotiation expert, so I teach negotiation and branding. So let's talk a little bit about, too. By the way, if you just joined us, we're talking with Jesica Fox Wimmer. She is a team leader with the Keller Williams office right here in Palm Harbor in the Clearwater location. Area. And when you look at the market, talk about Redfin. I just got one of the text alerts popped up. They're furloughing, I think, close to 50% of their W-2'd realtors that work for them as a realtor, as a W-2. So there's going to be a lot of people, I think, out there looking for a new home.
Yeah, there is. And the sad truth is a lot of these publicly traded companies were affected by the stock market crash. And in many cases, all the progress they had made over the last 5 years of having epic years was wiped out overnight.
Exactly.
Other headlines was Realty was down 63% their stock prices.
Wow.
And that they had taken a 90% cut on the upper echelon leadership salaries. So, it doesn't matter what company you're looking at, they got affected. And a lot of it's because they are publicly traded and not privately held. We're a privately held, debt-free company that profit shares.
Yeah.
And, so while you're reading headlines where 41%, I think it was, of Redfin agent employees were furloughed, I think, till September. What a bad spot to be in. We're actually putting a stimulus package. Our coaching stimulus package alone was worth $20 million back to our agents.
Wow.
We actually made coaching free for 2 months for all of our agents. We created a new program called Bold Pivot, which typically costs $799. We brought it down to $99.
Wow.
We've even changed splits and the expenses to our agents to make sure that our agents not only come out of this in a positive, but really thrive financially so that they're not in a bad spot.
Yeah, we're going to be able to take market share, and I think that's interesting too. Some of the other, 100% companies that you've seen in the past, that happens in a shift as well. Is one of the main companies, the bigger company. I won't say the name, but they're one of the companies that has the 100%, and they've got 1,100 or 3,000 plus agents at one point, down to like less than 1,000 agents now.
Right. So just like you see Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow offers these models closing their doors or stopping the iBuy model, you're going to see that with any of the discounters because they never really were making much money. Now they're not making any, so there's really no ability. If you're not giving anything to a company, at some point the company can't thrive or survive. Meanwhile, because we're very profitable, and very fiscally fit how we run our model, we are not only profitable, but we're profit sharing. So, 48% of our agents' profit in each one of our locations goes back to our agent partners every month. So our agents really care that we're healthy and vibrant because they all really enjoy that profit share, especially right now.
And it comes back to leadership. When you think about Gary Keller, Joshua Team, Jay Papazon, Dave Jinks, a lot of the leadership within the organization, it's how do you summarize Josh Team? From what I understood, he's kind of like a modern day Doogie Howser in the technology space, graduated very early from high school and college.
He's a genius.
He really is. And he launched what Gary initially called the Zillow killer with the command. We haven't even jumped into the technology piece that you're offered that can help you streamline, especially small independent companies like I used to be. I had this thing, hey, I'm not going to join the big teams. I want to be small and independent. But when you get to a certain point, it's like, wow, to really compete at the high level of some of the mega agents, the mega teams that you find out there, you have to make changes. And that was one of the changes we made a year and a half ago, a couple years ago now, when you look at moving to KW. But you care to elaborate a little bit about Command and Josh?
Yeah, so it was $1 billion investment from Gary Keller 4.5 years ago. He saw the world changing, and really at the time there was a race for the consumer to provide the consumer the experience of the future, kind of like the Uber ride of the future versus a taxi ride, which is a lot of different changes. It starts with the real estate search, and we can dive into the Command features. And yet what's really cool is it not only gives the consumer the experience of the future, the search of the future, which you can now give right now, Brandon, with your national mobile app, yet it gives the ability for the agent to run their entire business from the singular platform without any cost. And so for an agent, a single agent, they're usually saving about $500 a month. And for teams, that's ranging from $1,500 to $3,000 a month that I can help them cut from their expenditures. And right now, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
There's no cost, no fixed cost out to the agent. Only when they're having closings do they contribute back to Keller Williams.
Yeah, it's awesome because you're eliminating a lot of what Jessica referred to as the bolt-on technology. You have a constant contact to be able to send your emails out. You have all these different systems that you're utilizing. And as a small independent owner, as I was years ago, the challenge was, wow, you got all these different interfaces, you got all these different things trying to speak to each other, software. So it becomes a headache for a small business owner. But I want to get an offer out to any realtors, anybody looking to maybe make a change. We would love to talk to you. And Jessica has mentioned we're going to offer you a free copy of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent or the Market Shift book as well. If you'd like to reach out, just text the word book to 813-670-7372, and we're going to put you in touch, and we're going to get this book in your hands. No strings attached. Of course, we would love to talk to you about joining our team. Text the word book to 813-670-7372, and we'll be right back. More from Jessica Fox Wimmer, and we have our feel-good story of the day. New York City landlord waives April rent for hundreds of tenants. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it's Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because Webeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask me about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Oh, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's
your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50 plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to life. I've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
You're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, you know, with Women Unscripted, I know
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Local or long distance moves, reach out to the trusted choice of Brothers Easy Moving. They helped us personally move, so I can tell you from firsthand experience, they're a first-class organization. They moved my wife and I over to our lake house here in the area in Pinellas County. So big shout out to Brothers Easy Moving. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we got a couple of hot property listings I want to let you know about. I got a motivated seller at 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. This is a commercial asset, beautiful freestanding building, fenced in, video cameras, large conference room with a nice granite table, kitchen area, and plenty of office space here at 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue. Now, also on the roadway, you've got about 40 to 50,000 cars a day driving by, and you've got signage out on the road. So think about all those businesses, all those people driving by, seeing your business and your advertisement and your logo right there on Hillsborough Avenue in Town and Country. 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue, listed in the mid 400s. Owner is motivated, so reach out. We would love to talk to you. Also, I've got a development opportunity here at 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. This is $1 million property, but it's perfect for an investor developer. There's 8 lots, 5 of which are directly on the waterfront at 4214 Peaceful Lane, Land O'Lakes. Great opportunity. The entitlement's already there. Everything's been done in terms of the development, and you are ready to build here at 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And we're back here in studio. We've got Jesica Fox Wimmer in studio, special guest today. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with us, Jesica. She's a team leader at the #1 office in the Tri-County area for all the real estate companies, and we're with Keller Williams Realty. So thanks for spending some time with us today. We wanted to talk about technology. So with technology, everybody, especially nowadays, we know how Netflix works. You log in, it remembers, oh, you watched this, you started watching that one. And I think that's more important than ever because the system has changed, and that's something that Gary and Josh's team have really, taken into account when it comes to building technology that actually works, and it works into the future.
Right. So they built Command, and we have an app called Kelly, and we have actually a national app. So all those tools together are the real estate experience of the future, real estate 2.0, as we call it. And really, no other company has this technology because this technology didn't exist until we built it. So it took 4 years of hard work, and today our agents are able to allow or give to the consumer the Search 2.0 experience, which you can do as can Lindsay. In addition to that, you're able to run your entire business, every element of your business, from marketing to lead generation. We can provide leads for as little as $1 a lead through this platform. So it's a huge cost savings to our agent, huge benefit to our agent. They're able to eliminate any of their expenditures on websites or CRMs or any of the other things they're spending money money on because it's free and included with Keller Williams. So it's pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, there's not a lot of junk fees, as some people would call it, when you join a certain brokerage. Oh, well, it's this much a month, it's that much. It's a very small technology fee, less than what, $34.
It's $43.50 a month to be with us. So it's pretty affordable.
For all that technology you get when you look at that. And the ability to, you cut out a lot of these so-called consultants. It seems like real estate agents were called all the time. People are going through the different websites. Oh, we're looking for one realtor to work with all of our, insert pitch here, right? It cuts out a lot of that because you're able to run click, 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 boom, there's a Facebook ad up and running. And it's pretty cool how Gary and Josh have worked directly with Google and Facebook, some of these huge companies, directly to create an algorithm that works better for the real estate industry.
Right. Facebook alone, if we just focus on Facebook, I used to be a Facebook ad user, and I'd spend maybe $50 or $80 a month and find maybe 1 or 2 leads came my way that I could say were because of that ad. And now we're able to spend as little as $30 and get 30 leads. So it's a true technology that was built for Keller Williams by Facebook, and it's a proprietary program that we're very excited to have because it gives our agents that boost. We actually are rolling out a stimulus package, and as one of my agents, you're going to find out about it tomorrow, where we're cutting expenses, we're changing caps, we're changing splits to the benefit of the agent, but we're also doing a lead stimulus program where we're paying our agents money to go do Facebook ads to make more opportunity for themselves during this uncertain time. So we really are thinking out of the box to make it better for our agents.
Wow, that's awesome. I haven't heard about that except for now, so that's great. Yeah, good stuff.
We'll keep it till tomorrow.
Christmas in July, right? I guess it's a little early than July, but yeah, so that's the idea. We're talking with Jessica Fox Wimmer here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and of course, we do make cash offers. We can help you buy, sell, or invest in real estate here in Tampa Bay. And we wanted to talk a little bit about our team as well. Jessica, you've seen a lot of the mega agents, a lot of the mega teams, agents in the Keller Williams program doing over $100 million in volumes, $80 million in volume. These are some big numbers that are being done by relatively small teams. It doesn't have to be a team of 50 plus agents or even 35 plus agents. Some of these teams have 15 to 20 agents, and they're able to produce those types of numbers. What have you seen in that space?
Well, what's neat about it is we actually have a team model that's specific for an agent like yourself to go from an independent that you're an indie, to running a team in Keller Williams and having all the bells and whistles that you needed at a cost that you could afford,
right? So
that you're able to compete with for real estate 2.0 for the consumer of the future. And yet we have a model that it costs a lot less for a team member to be on a team versus as their own. And again, the team takes care of many of the fixed expenses that an agent would have on their own. So with so much uncertainty and so much movement in the real estate industry, it's a great time to look at that as an option for anyone that might feel that they would benefit from potentially being on a team. And just to say a few things about your team in particular, you guys have a pretty well-oiled machine. This is a great brokerage that you guys run, and you have a lot of dynamic things such as the TV show, the radio show, and you've got great leadership. I know Lindsay I call her a unicorn because she's so good at what she does.
Oh, thanks.
We took one of the services what we provide our agents is to do what's called the KPA, and it's an assessment for any real estate agent that's really trying to find themselves, find their sweet spot, find where they're magically going to do really well in the business so that you can focus on what you're great at. And one of those answers might be to be a team member or be part of a team or an administrative support of a team or build your own team. And so the Keller personality assessment is something that we offer everyone, and of course Brandon can provide that to any of you that are interested in getting into real estate or kind of evolving to what's next for you in real estate.
Yeah, one of the highlights of my business career, as you call it, was back in 2010. I can't believe it's been about 10 years ago now. I went to Tony Robbins' Business Mastery course. It was taught all the way across half the other side of the planet here in the South Pacific at Fiji, and he owns a resort there, Namali, Fiji. But I was first introduced introduced to those disc profiles back then, it was the disc is a little bit different. It's a similar. They're all somewhat similar. It's going to find out, okay, am I more of a driven or directive, a decision maker? Am I more of a underwriter type? I want to be more into the details, and so that's important to find out as a salesperson or office support staff. Either way you want to look at it, is where you're going to be best at, what you're going to do well, and how you're going to succeed. Because we want to set people up to succeed, not fail. That's the key aspect with that.
Well, and so many agents are meant to be in real estate, but they don't know exactly where their sweet spot is, and they might judge themselves based off of what someone else in their office is doing, and that's really the last thing they should do. It's really going deep on what you're great at, and that's what I love to help agents find is their sweet spot where they blossom, and the KPA is a great start for that. So anyone that's interested, reach out to Brandon, and we will get you a KPA.
Yeah, so the idea, like, sometimes people say, hey, I don't want to be on the phones. Okay, fine. Are you going to be more of a networker? Are you going to work your sphere of influence? Maybe you're an author. Maybe you're a podcaster. Some people don't mind being hooked up to the dialer. Get on the dial and reach out to those FSBOs. Reach out to those expires, those pre-foreclosure deals. Those list pendants have just recently been filed. There's ways that we can help you and coach you to fit to your personality style, your personality traits, what's going to help you succeed. And that's what's been really cool, is to see that with bringing with Lindsay, getting into the real estate about a couple years ago now. And then, because that was my thorn in my side as an independent, I was getting listings, I was selling my listings, but then when I would get that buyer side call, there was nobody that was really following up and closing those listing or those buyer clients. And when you see that, all of a sudden now your numbers start to double, and you're like, wow, okay, this is where it's all coming together.
Right, and there's such opportunity for anyone that's a strong lister. They should definitely see at least 2 buyers coming off of every listing if they market properly and know how to service that listing at a high level. And it's exciting to be able to help someone potentially even just double their business by teaching them how to partner with someone that is their sweet spot.
Right.
Not a thorn in your side, but a sweet spot because you're such a great lister. And listings, that's more of a skill-based part of real estate.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough. And the thing that's going to get better, though, I think now with this COVID, for speeding up that shift that we were already entering into, the COVID-19, we're going to see now, there's going to be people getting out of the business, going back to being a personal trainer, car sales, whatever they were doing before they got into real estate. So it's going to be a nice market here in about 4 to 6 months, depending on how this whole thing shakes out, Jessica.
It will be. However, I will recommend for anyone that is looking to buy or sell in 2020, do it now. Because today we know the market, the inventory is still at a record low. So if you're contemplating selling, sell today, list today, because the months ahead are very unpredictable and uncertain. No one can imagine what's next. And so as people have that fear or kind of that uneasiness, they'll just wait and see. And so the listing inventory will really kind of start piling up. And as soon as we get to a sense of normal, the market will be flooded. And so if you wanted to sell today, you're going to have the least amount of competition with the most serious buyers that currently have access to great money. And we don't know what that's going to look like. After we release this $2 trillion stimulus, there's probably more to come. What's next? We don't know.
Yeah.
And so, and who's to say there's not another blip in fall with another dose of COVID, which they keep talking about. So I would say the advice I'd give anyone that I care about that's real estate related, if you want to buy, sell, or invest, do it now because we can control what the market's doing today.
That's right. All right, stay with us. More from Jessica Fox here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our feel-good story of the day, New York City landlord waives April rent for hundreds of tenants due to coronavirus. We'll be right back after the short break. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Grimes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We appreciate you hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Maybe you're listening on the 4 o'clock drive time on AM 860 The Answer, or our weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. And you can also find us on your smart television outlets on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, 85 other smart television outlets here. Search Binge Networks, and you'll be able to find our show on any of those other, plus 85 other outlets. And we've got a lot of content as well on iTunes, podcasts, YouTube. You can find us in a lot of different places. We would love to connect with you on social as well. And my wife, Lindsay, and I own and operate a top team here in Tampa Bay, the Platinum MVP team. And Lindsay also does Feng Shui. So Feng Shui of Tampa Bay is her business as well. Home clearing, energy healing, all types of good stuff here going on in the Tampa Bay market. Services are available right now. So reach out. We'd love to talk to you. Now, anything that you heard about on the show today, reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372. You can call or text that line. Maybe you're a seller. You're looking for a value check. You want to know, hey, what's going on with the market? What would my home realistically sell for? You can text the word value to our hotline. If you're a realtor and you want to take us up on either one of those offers, we're going to give you a free copy of the Shift book written by Gary Keller, Dave Jinks, and Jay Papazon, or KPA, which is a personality type profile, and have an opportunity for that. Just text to our hotline, 813-670-7372, 813-670-7372. And I've got a hot listing here in Tampa Bay I want to let you know about here. It's Harbor Drive in Clearwater. Now, this property is side-by-side lots, 2 lots side-by-side on Harbor Drive in Clearwater, and you have bay access. So you can actually have a boat, drive or take your boat over to some of the cool restaurants right there in Clearwater, build up to 9 units available on these 2 properties side by side on Harbor Drive in Clearwater. So check them out online at platinummvpteam.kw.com. You can see all of our 45 plus listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com, and we would love to talk to you. Buying, selling, or investing. Cash offers available, instant offers, cash offers are available as well. All right, so we got Jessica Fox in studio, team leader, Keller Williams, Palm Harbor. We covered a lot of content today, Jessica, but some of the cool things that are out there is just, an opportunity for some of these realtors that are kind of shaken up by the industry to, maybe get a little bit different perspective.
Yeah, if you're an agent and you're not sure what to do next, or you may be a employee-based realtor with one of the disruptors that are now laying people off and letting people go, there's lots of opportunities. So don't fret, but reach out either to Brandon or myself, and we'd be happy to help you find the right next move for you, be it being in real estate sales, administrative support, being part of the leadership team, being part of a team, whatever is next for you. We can help you identify what that sweet spot might be and help you get there.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get into a quality organization, training, support. There's tons of classes going on. There's educational opportunities. One of the things Lindsay and I set as a goal for 2020 was to get out there and teach some of these classes. Some of the agents are getting 20, 30 referrals a year by just going down, for example, if we're based in Tampa Bay, going down to Fort Myers, Naples, or going over to the East Coast and teaching a class for the day, then they're opening themselves to a lot of referrals from those other markets.
Yeah, we'll talk about a great database of fellow realtors that really like you and know you and appreciate you for you pouring into them. So it creates a win-win opportunity and a network that you can't compete with.
Yeah, absolutely. And more people, even before I joined Keller Williams, I started looking at, wow, okay, so this big name broker just joined, and that other big name broker just joined Keller Williams. So there's really is a movement towards Keller Williams and all the things that are positive. What do you think's driving that, Jessica?
I think it's because we've always been the progressive leader. Before COVID and the conversation we had today, we talked about the disruptors and the different models that were starting to pop up. And in every area, Keller Williams had a response to it so that our agents were also able to provide the market of the moment. So if consumers prefer convenience with an iBuy, we have that too. If you want to offer a mortgage discount or a commission a different type of control of your business. You have the ability to make all those business decisions for yourself with Keller Williams. And so we don't limit you. If anything, we give you every tool that you might need in your toolkit. So we're constantly evolving and training. So the technology didn't hurt us by any means by going into command and having that. But the other things like KPA and that, we've always continued to evolve and will evolve right through this current shift.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other advantages that we haven't even talked about here on the show that we will talk more about one-on-one when we do have that confidential interview with anyone looking to switch over to maybe the Platinum MVP team or any other great teams at the Keller Williams Clearwater office. Wanted to get to our feel-good story of the day. Every day we tell you something positive here in our feel-good story of the day. So this one's about a landlord in Brooklyn, New York. He announced on Monday that he will waive April's rent for all residential and commercial tenants. Mario Salerno, who has 18 apartment buildings with hundreds of tenants, said he did not want renters to stress about their payments during the coronavirus pandemic. Quote, "I'm really not concerned about the rent right now. I'm concerned about people's health. Not only are we up against this epidemic, these poor people have no jobs and they're worried about getting sick." Salerno, 59, posted a letter at the interest of his apartments buildings, and the announcements for April's rent will be waived for all tenants. Quote, "Due to the recent pandemic and coronavirus COVID-19 affecting all of us, please note I am waiving rent for the month of April 2020, the letter states. And quote, "They're all very appreciative. I told them to make sure you help your neighbor," Salerno said. And so pretty cool. So one of the favorite things we do here on the show are those random acts of kindness, the feel-good stories, and we always talk about that on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We've got just a few minutes left here with Jessica Fox. Tell us a little bit more when you're having those one-on-one sessions with Gary Keller and you're flying out to every year. Keller Williams has a couple different opportunities to either go out to corporate or have a family reunion. We went to New Orleans last year. That was cool. So it gives you kind of re-energize, refresh, make a lot of cool connections, but also kind of have that pulse of the market from Gary's perspective. What else do you see when you have that one-on-one time with Gary?
Well, he's a real deal. He's at work every day. He's working 7 days a week because he's so passionate about his agents and leading them through this, because he knows that there's opportunity with every shift, and the market, regardless of the reason of the shift, is always shifting. So I would really recommend that anyone that has interest in this book, I know you can provide this to anyone that would like a copy. This book will give you the step-by-step instructions of what you need to do, really, and for any small business owner, what you really need to do in order to be equipped to survive and thrive during the shift. Not just survive it, but to thrive moving out of it. And so I think he's always forward thinking. He's not afraid, but he's not afraid to run at what's next. And as the search for the consumer of real estate 2.0 continues, that race is continuing with other brokerages, we continue to pull ahead and win because he's such a forward thinker and always planning for what's next and what the consumers are going to desire next. So coming soon, we'll have the concierge program, which, Brandon, you'll also be able to offer any seller that might need a little extra money to get their house in tip-top shape, and some other disruptions. So I'll have to share those in the coming
cool.
feature. Yes. Not only are you first to know about your stimulus package for the office, but you'll also be getting more programs for you to be able to give that seller what they need.
Yeah, that's super. I mean, because a lot of times it's just like, man, a fresh coat of paint, rip up the carpet, throw some wood down, maybe change the kitchen, countertops to granite. Those types of things, it might take $2,000 to $5,000, $10,000. But if you did that, you would get an exponentially faster closing and exponentially higher sales price. So that's a cool program that will be rolling out. And what Gary, just to kind of mimic what Jessica was saying, is to get your unfair share, right? We want to get your unfair share of business in 2020 and beyond. And that's how you can do that with Keller Williams, some of the programs that are offered. And it's a focus on personal development. What are you going to do every day? Either you're going to get better, or you're going to stay the same, or you're going to get worse. And if you're not improving, you are getting left behind by the competitors, and you got to be committed to be successful. That's one of the things that has been really a driving force in our business. And it really comes down to a big math equation, right? Whether you're working with buyers, you're working with sellers, it's a big, huge math equation, right? So number of prospects, number of talk-tos, number of your database. Talk a little bit about that, because that's one of the main models that Gary talks about.
Right. So typically an agent that follows what we'd call the MREA model, or the Millionaire Real Estate Agent model, which is what we teach, you will get a 10% return from your database every year of people that need to buy, sell, build, invest, because life happens. people have lifestyle changes. So it happens. And as long as you're in relationship with those folks and they know that you're serious about what you're doing and you're a professional and you're great at it and you have the resources, tools, and you can provide the experience that they desire, they're going to choose you. And yet it's amazing, almost alarming to me how many real estate agents don't have some real basic things put in place for their business so that their business can become predictable. So at Keller Williams, we put the business in your business by auditing kind of with you where you're at and where you want to be, and being your business coaches to support you to run that business of the future and give that consumer experience that we all desire, which is real estate 2.0. So I'm really excited that during all this change, I'm able to give my agents an extreme makeover, not only with the platform they're using and the way that they provide showings of the future with virtual showings and virtual listing presentations and all the different things that we're doing to pivot, but it's really about giving that to the agent and not charging them anything for it. So we really have put ourselves in a great spot with Keller Williams.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited about it, and we are looking forward to 2020 and beyond. It's going to be a great time to be in real estate for those that are positioned in the right way and developing those strategic relationships, staying in touch with your sphere. Just had another one of my sellers from the past call out, yes, we're listing today. 3 or 4 listings just happened over the last 24 hours. So we're excited about that. People are selling, buyers are buying, investors are investing. The business is still going on. Real estate is deemed essential. It's a part of the American dream is to have that home ownership. So I want to thank Jessica Fox. Awesome show today. Great spending time with you, and I appreciate your insights into the Keller Williams models. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Also, reach out if you're a realtor or a homeowner and someone who wants to potentially take up one of these offers. We're offering a KPA, a copy of the shift book. Just reach out, 813-670-7372. Call or text that line. It's an off-air number, 813-670-7372. And check out consumerqb.com. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.